In part 2 of this video tutorial, we will reinvestigate layers, the transform tools, and the pattern stamp. The next thing that we'll be doing in this video tutorial is separating the jacks from the background layer. So we'll introduce a new lasso tool. This one's called the polygonal lasso tool, or L on the keyboard. This one's a little bit different because instead of picking and dragging your mouse around like we did with the regular lasso tool, this one you're picking, letting up with your mouse, pick, 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 pick. You're just picking and letting off, and you're doing this pretty quickly. Now remember, the magic wand tool won't work here because it would only pick the inside of the jacks, and we need the outline as well as the inside of the jacks. So to remove these pixels from the outline layer, we need to use the cut command, which is located under the edit pull-down menu. So if you're on a PC, that is Control X. If you're on a Mac, it's Command X. All right, let's use the magic wand to select the hole that we just created in our drawing. Now, we're going to use the fill command to fill in like pixels. These may look white, but in reality, these could be kind of a yellowish white. So you really need to use the eyedropper, I on the keyboard, to pick the background because we want this hole to match the background pixels. And then from here, go to the edit pull down window and pick fill. And it's important to pick foreground color. We want to fill the contents of the selected area with the foreground white pixels, not what Photoshop white is, which is a pure white. Because remember, we have no way of knowing in what spectrum of white this really is. Command D or Control D will deselect the marching ants. Now I'm going to go back to the Move tool and I'll go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste in Place, and that will put those jacks back on the floor. But when it did that, it created a new layer for the jacks. If you'll hover your mouse right over the word Layer 1 and gently double click, it will give you the option of renaming it. Let's give it a logical name like Jacks, J-A-X. Now with our Move tool on, we can move these independently of the background copy. And what's even better than that, if I zoom out, I can turn off the jacks layer and I can put flooring on top of the outline copy. So let's go to the layer mini menu and pick new layer. We're going to add flooring to our layer panel. And we want to make sure that flooring is located between the jacks and the background copy. Let's toggle over to those files that we opened earlier. This will make a nice flooring sample for a mid-century floor. To be able to make this into a pattern we can paint on, you need to have the file open, as we do here, and you need to convert it to a pattern. To do that, you go to the Edit pull-down menu and select Define Pattern. Now, by default, the pattern name is whatever the file name was. If it's not descriptive enough, then you can play around and redefine that here. But this is good enough for me, so I will hit OK. I'm going to toggle back over to my working drawing. And if you haven't saved this yet, File, Save As, your last name, Mid-Century Room. Now's a good time to save it and make sure that the file format you're saving it in is Photoshop. Great. Now we're ready to paint on the flooring. we have to use a special tool for that, and that new tool is called the Pattern Stamp tool, or S on the keyboard, and it is in a vertical stack with the Clone Stamp tool. So just make sure you pick and hold down that icon and pick the one that says Pattern Stamp tool. Once you're on that tool, then you're going to go up to your options panel and look through this drop-down menu until you find the file that you just created. And I'm going to pick in an open area up here to retract my pattern library. Use your magic wand to select the flooring area. Use the Pattern Stamp tool to brush it on. We're going to leave it like that for now, but I will be showing you how to adjust the scale later on in part 3. The important thing is, anytime you want to adjust the scale of a pattern, whether it's a fabric, it's wood, it's flooring, it's anything, those pixels need to be on their own independent layer. Command D on a Mac, Control D on a PC deselects the flooring. You can turn back on the jacks. Now what you'll notice with the jacks is that it brought in the white pixels from where we used the polygonal lasso. So all we're going to do is hop on the jacks layer, make that the current layer. We will use the magic wand, and this time I'm going to uncheck sample all layers. I don't need it to go through all the layers. I just want it to select the white pixels on the jacks layer, and I'll pick on the white pixels. Once the white pixels are selected, I'll hit the delete key. Going back to my move tool, you can see that I can move the jacks around independently. The reason why I can do that is they're on a separate layer than the flooring layer, and the flooring layer is on a separate layer than the background copy. Okay, we're going to repeat the pattern maker one more time, and this time we're going to do it on the chair. So we will need to create some new layers for the chair. Go to the layer panel mini menu, pick new layer, and then type in chair back. This will be the back of the chair. I'll magic wand the back of the chair. And what happened here is, because I had unchecked sample all layers and I used my magic wand, it selected everything, the entire canvas, because there's actually no pixels on this background on the chair layer. Command D or Control D deselects. So here we need to have sample all layers checked. What that means is, even though there are no outlines on the chair back layer, the layer we just created, if we have sample all layers checked, the magic wand tool will look through all these layers until it finds the outline, which is on the background copy layer. Let's reselect the chair back. Perfect. And we'll go to Bamboo Light. Toggle up here. And we need to make a pattern that we can paint on. So we'll go to the Edit pull-down menu and pick Define Pattern. We'll call this Bamboo Light Vertical because the grain of the wood is going up and down. And next we will rotate this entire picture so that the grain is going in a horizontal orientation. So we'll go to the Image pull-down menu, Image Rotation, and we'll pick Clockwise. And it doesn't matter if you pick clockwise or counterclockwise. And again, I went to the Image pull-down menu to Image Rotation, and I just rotated it 90 degrees. Once you've done that, we're going to go back to the Edit pull-down menu and pick Define Pattern, and we'll call this Bamboo Light Horizontal. And we'll toggle back to our working drawing. Where we left off was that we used the magic wand to select the chair back, and our current layer is the chair back. So from here, we want to go to that special tool, pattern stamp, go back up to your options panel, and now search for bamboo light horizontal. Beautiful. Command or Control D will deselect. Next, we're going to add a new layer called chair neck. Make that the current layer. Magic wand the chair neck. Go to the pattern stamp tool. Go back up to the options panel. From the pull down pattern library, pick bamboo light vertical. Control or Command D. Let's magic wand the chair seat. Make a new layer, call this chair seat. Make sure that's the current layer. Go back to the pattern stamp tool. Go back up to the options panel, to the digital library, the stamp library, and pick the pull down menu and pick bamboo horizontal. Command or Control D will deselect. Now we're going to select the chair legs, and I'm holding down the Shift key so that I can add to the selection. I'm going to go to the layer panel and add a new layer, and I'm going to call this chair legs. Go back to the pattern stamp tool. Go back to the options panel. From the library pull down menu, pick bamboo vertical light. We'll brush that on. Control or Command D. And that's the end of part 2.